There. Sorry. You snuck up on me.
I teach my mind with patience, seeking to define my nation. Internalize eternal lies into the mind state I stay in. We got soldiers serving indentured, feeling shells blow off half their face, now they need dentures. Propaganda got my man enlisted cause he's wishing for some adventure. He wants to experience different cultures by swooping in like vultures, dropping from helicopters, any objection they assault you. All of the Middle East getting hit by the beast. You're not fighting the Taliban, you may sell their shit in the streets. Afghanistan's cash crop is the poppy field. They got teens and queens selling dimes of smack with a Bin Laden seal until they get knocked by a cop with a shield who looks the other way. For 500 a pop, it's real. Even in illegal acts, people get taxed. Soldiers subtract from the dough that they stack from holding crack. Well, billionaires, millions are still there because of a loophole in the tax. I'm reflecting on my racial essence in the evidence of presidents and senators oppressing inner city residents. It's just a testament to the addiction to money and drugs spreading the pestilence. Heads is getting bids while drugs they're getting rid of. Culture to Cambodia, they're giving weapons to kids, cause you don't need to just trust this conscious rapper, cause we've all got the data. When prior to death, Osama's last job was as a CIA contractor. Oh, I thought you knew. Damn, they didn't tell you? NBC's got 3 networks, at least one can get it through. How this shit like that's the kind of eye that's black and blue. You gotta take the sunglasses off sometime, and when you do, we're gonna see your true primary colors shining through. Blood red, imperial white, black and blue.
As you can see, this particular slam, I can't speak for every slam, but if you're wondering if you can slam, you've seen a variety of styles, the cerebral, the mellow, the contemplative, the outrageous, the mourning. So if you think you have a poem that is slam worthy, chances are you are correct. Let's hold up the scores and see what you got. We have a 7.6. We have a 10. We have a 9.3. A 7.5. And an 8.8. Let's applaud the performer, the poet, the poem, off the floor. Silent E's getting ready to make her victory run down here, even though she hasn't performed yet. She's confident. Gladys is waiting in the wing. And what do we have for the score after all is said and done?
25.7.
25.7?
Yes.
25.7. Another round of applause. And let's bring down next to the mic, Silent E. Woo! Yeah.
I'm feeding for that mind sex. Let me freak your intellect. Words of wisdom penetrating my brain like an orgasmic motion. Desires uncovered, no hidden notions. Just by emotions. Spit something to me. Give me that non-drug related natural high like head between my thighs. Deep inside the shadow of my mind. Intelligence undiscovered waiting for you to find. Do our brain waves go in the same direction? So contagious like an infection? The way we think finishing each other's sentences, it's like we've always been together. I can feel your eyes upon me. Tell me something I need to know. Share with me the thoughts in your cerebral cortex so dark and deep like a hidden vortex. Mind sex so deep and fulfilling, no contraceptives required. Just release your hidden desires, love me deep and long. Feels too good, nothing can go wrong. Make the words feel right. Our conversations can last all night. Religion, politics, social injustice, poetry, sports, history, anything you name it. Thoughts of the minds merge together as one like two highways intersecting. I can satisfy your mind. Another girl like me you'll never find. I'll have you coming back for more. You'll be surprised what I have in store. Physical desires can always be fulfilled. Beauty in the eyes of the beholder may pass it any day, but I could make your brain think. There's nothing like that mind sex. So take a mental walk with me. Like I said at the beginning of this poem, I'm feeding for that mind sex. Let me freak your intellect. So tell me, are you up for the challenge?
You up to the challenge? We're about to find out. Judges, show them when you got them. Gladys is on her way up next. So Gladys, if you want to get closer, go on ahead. And Tim Hall is following Gladys. We're getting closer to the last hat. We're getting close to finishing up the list of 12, and then there'll be only 6. Let's bring up the scores. We have an 8.2. We have an 8.5, an 8.9, a 9.4, and a 10.9. It's going to be eliminated anyway. Applaud the poet. Applaud the poem, not the score. Are we tired? Come on. I know it's Monday. Come on. And the score after the lowest and the highest are eliminated?
26.8.
26.8.
Nice.
And now, up next to the open mic, let's welcome up Gladys. Or to the slam. I'm sorry, I'm used to speaking in a certain way. God, I'm an idiot.
Fire. She told me to scream fire. She said that more people will run to help me. She said it's the only way I'll get help fast enough. I will never forget being 9 years old, not preteen enough to walk home alone from school, but tragedy does not avoid the young. When she sat me down and told me there were dangers I had to accept as a part of life, that being born with 2 X chromosomes made me inherently at risk of being hurt, I wanted to ask why, but she wasn't finished. She said that it may seem strange now, but one day I'll understand. She said she isn't prepared to deal with the loss of my innocence just yet. For the love of Santo Dios, just scream fire. In that moment, I wanted to scream fire at the top of my lungs. I wanted to tell her that it was just a little too late. My innocence was stolen from me when she was forced to explain that screaming rape will never be enough to make people want to help me. The ugly, unfettered truth of selfishness exposed to my young corneas. I wasn't ready to know in a world full of people, I will always be alone. She told me to scream fire, that mass disaster will always draw a crowd just a little bit faster than a single girl's pain. She told me to scream fire, that my pleas for mercy will go unheard. She told me to scream fire, to scream fire, to scream fire. She told me that to gain the freedom of walking the streets alone, I had to promise to scream fire. Ma, I promise I will scream fire. I promise to go running when I hear it shouted around me. I promise. PSA, if you find yourself walking home alone and you end up being raped, scream fire. People are more likely to help you.
There's more where that came from. Judges, thank you for your services tonight. Hold them up when you got them. Tim Hall's waiting in the wings. Then we have Jonathan J. Joseph coming up after that. Got a couple. We're waiting on a couple, waiting on a couple, waiting on one more. There we go. We have 6.9. We have 7.3. We have 9.6. 9.9. And 11. Applaud the poet. Applaud the poet. Got the score. And speaking of the score, once the highest and the lowest are eliminated, we are left with a score of
26.8.
26.8. Another round of applause. Up next, let's welcome up Tim Hall.
So I used to think poetry was just for black people. I was ignorant and new. But I learned that if you have a soul, you are a poet. And the color of your skin is just the ink you use in your pen. Your experiences are the letters of the words with which you write, and the world you live in is your canvas. I see dreams being reached as if poetry were a lottery ticket. The winning number is that piece you wrote last week. I hear wounds being mended as if scars were pencil mistakes on lines of paper. Memories erased easily and whole lives rewritten on stage with the cello rubber residue slightly left on the page. So you don't forget where you came from. I hear pain and survival as if the mic were World War III. And words pierced through every audience member, causing bones to break, fingers to snap, jaws to drop, and thank yous to release from their mouths because you just saved their life. I hear fearlessness in the tone of your iambic pentameter. I used to think my life was just a mess until I found the words to save myself. I feel love and passion, that poets love, that real love. I didn't know love until I met you, kind of. That this isn't another love poem type of love, that there isn't any word in the dictionary that defines how I feel about you. So when I see you, I stay quiet. I let my heart speak us into existence kind of love. And sometimes that love shit, it gets old. But usually when you stand naked on this stage, day after day after day, then you have to love this shit. And sometimes the only way to love is to write and to write and to write, then speak that love into the atmosphere until forever becomes today, because we don't know what will happen tomorrow. It's not guaranteed. Never forget that you are a poet. Not bound by the color of your skin, we bleed the same shade of red. So when you step up onto this stage, bruised, scarred, and wanting to be heard, leave a little of your shade on the mic, and you'll never be missed.
And the judges are scoring, and they're getting ready to score. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's hear the scores. How's the record, guys? Applause. 8.8.
Oh.
What?
9.5. Yeah. 9.5. Well, wait, there's more. 9.6. Yeah. 9.9. I mean, upon the poet, not score. And now, once the highest score and the lowest score are eliminated, what are we left with?
28.6.
28.6! Very nice. Up next, let us welcome up Mr. Jonathan J. Joseph. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We fucked happily ever after. Couldn't be caught, distressed, our sweat filled in space reserved for thoughtfulness. Fighting was just us finding a way to get closer without exposing too much honesty. Tempered nerves and pressure arising out of genitals at peak of their heat. Our bodies stay singing round midnight, carrying this very cadence once forbidden. Somebody come help me, please. I can't sleep. These fantasies keep on begging my attention. Where is release to be found when sex ain't helping so much anymore? Sure, she knew I missed her pussy, but most of all, never quit yearning to couple with a soul who wouldn't just listen past touching because we were sharing the same old sticky bed covers.
And another poem will be coming up in an upcoming anthology, What Chad Wishes He Did on His Summer Vacation. Let's have the judges hold them up once they got them. Okay. Brace yourselves, people. We have a 2. We have a 6.9. We have a 6.9. Leave it alone. We have a 7.2. And we have an 8.5. Speed of Prince's controversy is going off and on in my head. Oh my. And after we have the highest and the lowest score shaved off, what are we left with?
21 even.
21 even. Applaud the poet to the score. And applaud the poet to the poem, not the score. I'll get it right eventually. Whew. Let's go up. Let's see, who is next here? Let's go up to, I believe James D is next. James D, come on up to the mic.
I know him.
He's amazing. We love him. This is practice.
God, if you exist, how come you set us up like chess pieces? We're always choosing sides against each other, then threatening the end before the end. Checkmate. We are always a sacrifice. Why would you make some of us pawns? Why would you make the queens stronger, but the kings more important? Why is it always about the kings? God, if you exist, why'd you give the loudest voices to the people who need to listen the most? They yell and scream over the best lessons. Why is my voice so loud? There's a bullhorn in my belly that thinks it has the answers. It got sick of waiting for your answers. God, if you exist, why'd you give us a choice to believe, then make different promises in different languages? Why'd you tell everyone they could only see you one way? They all think they're right, and I think it's your fault. God, if you exist, why'd you let them translate your words into contradictions? The way they love feels like hate, and they say they're doing it for your sake. They look at me like they're scared of me sometimes, like I'm going to break their faith. God, if you exist, why'd you make their faith such a fragile thing? Is this all just a test? Is my family some kind of test? Did we fail? Are you afraid to give away the answers? Is there a limit to the space in heaven? Is that why you choose to hide in metaphors and stories? God, if you exist, what is the point in hell? Are you just the boogeyman looming in our decisions? What kind of lesson are you trying to teach with eternity and no second chances? God, if you exist, are you afraid of questions too? One of the books that claims to know you said you made us in your image. Are you just as damaged? Are you an angry storm of violence? Is that why we find so many ways to hurt each other? Because we have an abusive heavenly Father? God, if you exist, why do you exist? Why does any of this exist? None of the stories make any sense. And when I come up with answers of my own, I feel like an outsider. Sometimes I wish I could belong, just believe in you like everyone else around me. Is that the point? Make it so hard we have no choice but to seek you out. God, if you exist, why do they care so much if I acknowledge you? Are you really that petty? Or is it them? It must be so nice to get all of the credit and none of the blame. God, if you exist, am I still a good person if I don't know? I don't think you're there. I don't think you can hear any of this. Sometimes I get why people want to believe in you. Makes things a little more sure when I don't think anything really is. God, if you exist, I really could use some help down here. Either way, I think this praying thing is more about saying what you need to say. So, if you're there, thanks for listening, I guess.
The last two people on the open mic, Mr. Joseph on the slam. Sorry, good God. I'm paid normally to host open mics. Anyway, Joseph M. and Adam will be the last two. Let's look at those scores. We have a 9.8.
Yeah.
A 9.8.
Yeah.
A 10.
Yeah.
A 10. A 10.
Yes.
Wow. And I guess it'll be easy to take out the lowest and the highest score there. What do we got?
29.8.
29.8! Well, the poet, not the score. And let's bring up the second to last person in this round. Let's go up to Mr. Joseph M.
I hate every single one of y'all in here. And I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I hate the way y'all act, the way y'all think y'all know me, the way y'all can sit here and try to judge poetry. You think you know who I am. Let's be quite frank. I could put my middle finger up and not give a fuck and hope that you get that Frankie boiled in the hot dog and hope that you see that I'm one of those guys who can be aligned along the people who can see what makes me who I am. You're blind to vision. No wonder why artistically I might be autistic. See, you have no idea what it takes to be on this stage from day one. Heart sit here bumping like a damn drum expecting that you will give me the blessing. But I have no idea where I come from. See, it's easy to watch yourself and watch me on this stage and pretend that I'm something that I'm not, and pretend that I'm something that I jot as I write. You'll expect me to rewrite and then rewrite and rewrite, then expect it to be right when I come up on the stage for you. But see, the truth is, I don't really come up here for you, I come up here for me. I do this clearly because I can clearly see what happens when I look upon the reactions and I become the main attraction and then I smile. Yeah, I hate the way I smile because in the end, negativity is the only thing that makes potrons, neutrons make themselves see what they do when they descend from their sentences, expecting the same old sentences and switches, excepting for the lights, but not realizing that all they're doing is becoming vindictive. When I write for these judges, I almost become vindictive because last time I was here, I want redemption from the last time I was here because the fear was that I was never going to be able to get on the stage again because I was knocked out by half a point, expecting me to get half the point that I was up there, but never expected me to stop. So the fact is, how can you sit here and tell me to relax, then get back up on the stage and act and react and expect that someone is going to look at that chemical reaction and not expect me to explode? I am the guy, but everybody knows to be the guy, you got to beat the best. So I guess the best can never be me because I have an A game that you can't see. See, I am a G who doesn't need to click, clack, or boom because my writing is something that makes you go click, clack, then damn, fuck it. There's no boom involved. I am the bad guy, so hi. I hate all you. Every single one who thinks they can be a judge and put that pen to paper and write a little bit of a board and expect to be bored because I'm up here for as long as I want to be. Fuck the time. Who gives a fuck about the time? I am the guy who will rhyme over and over the same line and you'll be like, why? Because I am that damn guy. But y'all don't seem to see that. So I just have to make you believe that. Y'all believe in a fictional spirit who can't seem to be a being but then expect me to be on the scene and then you'll tell me that I'm not the guy in real life on earth where we sit there and share the same rock and the core is shaken by the same rhymes and the same lines that we spit is not the same shit because all you do is crap on it at the same time. So fuck it. I hate y'all.
We love you too. Love you.
Rachel will not be asking to make out with. Adam's coming up next. Let's get the scores up if you got them. Scores up if you got them. We have a 6.1. We have a 7.
A 7?
We have a 9.4. Added note, I love you, hater. 9.8 and a 10. Yeah. One palm, not the middle finger. I mean, anyway. And after we take out the highest score and the lowest score, what are we left with, good sir?
26.2.
26.2. The next person welcome on the competition, Mr. Adam. Come on, Adam.
Through the window, we saw our child. Neighborhood depressed. The house suicidal. Toys and junk spilled over the lawn like vomit. We even began to second guess ourselves. Did we make the right choice? Wrestle with life and notice the lawn, the grass, long dead blue. In the window, blue reflecting from the sky, the child, earth, all contained in the reflections, wrestling, smothered by what was meant to protect. The house still thinks or hasn't realized there are no second chances in all of this. Every opportunity spilling through fingers, spilling through an ever-tightening grip to your choking blue. The realization that coming in second wasn't an option. We looked at the child in the window. We looked at the house, realizing eventually everything is wrestled into submission. Everything is wrestled with in a wrestling match with God. Everything spills into chaos like the house. No matter that a sky can turn blue like the eyes of a child, like the world hitting restart. Everything's second guessing itself, holding on to the last second of life. Not even worth living. Every day a wrestling match with God. Being pinned at the end. A reminder you're a child and nothing more, spilling your juice on a rented blue couch of a rented home. Just a reminder that your house is not a home. Just a place where you can't be kicked out of, a second life waiting for the real one to begin. No blue sky for you. Just wrestling and losing to the idea I've spilt enough guts. But the child, get to realize the house, a wrestling arena, where there are no second rounds, spilling over the ropes, just a window to a child.
And that's Adam's first time here at the Stone Soup Slam. We got bread and refreshments over there. I got no follow-up with joke with that. Just want to let you know. Hold them up if you got them. Hold them up if you got them. We're waiting on one more person to put in a score. Okay, we got a 7.2, a 7.8, an 8.0, another 8.0, and 8.7. One poem, not the score. And after we take off that unfortunately lost highest score, and then take out the lowest score, what are we left with?
23.8.
23.8. Another round of applause for Adam. I originally said there was 12 people. I thought Adam was the last, but there is a 13th warrior. So, it's not Antonio Banderas, but it's better. This is a real person. Let's welcome up, completing this round, Dexter Joe. Come on, bring her up.
10 things I want to explain to a black boy about magic. 1. He said, breaking is the only way the magic gets in. That may be true for the rest of us, but he has misunderstood. He is like dipped in chocolate. There are no cracks, no crevices, and yet has always been magic. 2. On the mornings when the sparkle in his eye is enough to make the most reluctant being bend, that is when he will conquer. 3. Black boy magic is a special kind. There is no rage there, no envy or greed there, only the kinds of things that make a girl fall in love. It slips out when he speaks, or seeps slowly through the palms of his hands. He has been given too much. He must remember to keep some to nourish self. Or, I wish I could explain my passion the way he speaks of his. Clarity is not my strong suit, but he has always been clear. Even in a daze, his ideas are something one can get behind. 5. His truth is all-encompassing. It holds all of the truths of all of the world. There is no half-truth in this, no half-love or half-hurt. It is all or nothing, usually all. His brand of magic makes the harshest truth sound like church bells too early in the morning. Harsh in interrupting, but beautiful. 6. He holds my heart. This takes a new kind of strength. I am too much intensity, but he is a new kind of strength, because this heart, it burns. He has inspected the flames and still puts it to his lips in praise, and somehow he has not hurt 7. When the night becomes too dark and I am lost, as we have all been lost, I let him guide me into a new tomorrow. On the dullest days, I think of who we have been together, and it sets me ablaze yet again. He is magic, lighter magic. Just the thought of him rekindles. 8. There is not enough blank space in this ample and full universe to capture his art and thought, so he saves the paper for what he feels is worthy. It is all worthy. I would paint his words on my walls were I to stop hearing them in my head. I would tattoo his thoughts on my eyelids were I to close my eyes and not see him. 9. I have been trying to safeguard his passage into my life since the moment he entered it. I want to keep it always open. This I know is impossible. He may not enter and exit whenever he pleases. But it seems I cannot close the gaps with him on the outside. 10. He seems nothing but a theory. Too much magic in one body, and Black Boy has been causing me no pain. But my heartaches have spilled over into what we could have been, what we may someday be. It seems I cannot close the gaps with him on the outside because this is where the magic gets in. And he has always been, always will be, magic.
As we speak, we're preparing the tally of the people who will go on to the second round. And we do appreciate everyone, and especially the judges for tonight, for all their work and their participation and attention. Hold them up if you got them, guys. I'm talking about the scores. Let's, good. We have a 7.9. Oh, no, wait, sorry.
Hold up.
I thought that was, this is why I had bad vision. Sorry. 8.3. 9.1. 9.6. 9.7. And 9.9. 20/50 vision. Sorry, guys. And the score after you take off the highest and the lowest, what are we left with?
28.4.
28.4 people!
All right,
We're going to move on as best we can. We're going to get the 6 people who will be going on to the second round. Another round of applause for everyone who participated tonight. Including yourselves. We are all winners. But 7 people are not. But, actually, I find out if I whistle Jeopardy, YouTube will will do a copyright strike. So, if we are lucky, we'll get a score very soon. We'll get a tally. Now the butterfly is working in the back with the judge. I feel like I'm narrating a golf game at this point. Now they forgot I think they forgot to carry the tube out. Yes, they forgot to carry the tube. They carried the tube. They're bringing it back. Math jokes, that kill me. Let's put the X's near the names of where what we want, and let's make the announcement. This is why I wish we were working with a Microsoft Excel sheet. It would have been slightly quicker.
Does this happen every Monday night?
The Slam does not happen every Monday night. That's a great question, but Stone Soup does happen every Monday night with features and special nights. We had our first. We helped sponsor the first International Beat Poetry Festival earlier this year, and that's just one of the events that we feature on a regular basis. And here we go with Nava with the announcement.
All right, I'll just announce the ones that's going on so that we can kind of speed up the time a little bit. And they'll be going in this order. Rudy Rodacious. Angelica.
Yeah.
Big Papa Ben. Tim Hall. James. And the girl, Dexter.
Dexter. All right.
Okay,
So I guess the first person we're going to bring up to the mic, this is round 2.
Round 2. Rudy, you ready?
Rudy Roo, are you ready?
The year was 1994. Before my parents became landlords, I remember visiting the house they now own. It was the second in a row of 4 abandoned homes. The street was called America. It looked like the Great Depression, like a ghost town staring its own reflection in the mirror. Each building wore the same outfit of boarded up doors, with looted interior of dusty dark rubble. Shattered glass made every window frame a broken tooth smile. The building my parents bought looked hung over,
like the result of a party gone wrong. Like an alcohol-chased argument went too far. Like someone took a couple of shots before taking a couple shots. Across the street, caution tape sectioned off a fresh chalk sketch. Someone had their chest burned twice one night. The outline of a dead body labeled this property crime scene. My parents took a city cave and built a home from scratch. A few years passed, America Street became a neighborhood full of black and brown families. As kids, we were all in unison. Our outdoor bonding turned a graveyard into a playground. This concrete jungle of foliage and pollen couldn't stop the games we played. Trees marked start and finish lines for foot races. Wild grass broke our fall when wrestling got rough. With a hollowed milk crate nailed to a telephone pole, my brother played basketball with neighbors till the nightfall. My sisters sat front row getting their hair done on the front porch. It's been over 20 years. My parents still own this home, but new businesses, clean streets, made property value increase as their financial grip starts to slip. Everyone we knew has moved. I miss conversations, roasting sessions, debates from after school till curfew. Today, neighbors are strangers. We only greet each other with one word. I would rather a real estate eyesore with a pumping heart than this flatline suburb. Some days, I remember the caution tape from our first visit. I wonder if it was the universe trying to warn us. Caution, land is loyal to conquerors, never its natives. Caution, history has ironic ways of repeating itself. Caution, this street is named America for a reason. The building visible from our house is a theater called the Columbus. When I look around and see less people that look like me, I ask, is this a coincidence or a metaphor for genocide? Because gentrification will repaint a neighborhood like a bad art book. It stops coloring between the lines. I think of the chalk sketch from our first visit and realize even though murders have stopped on this block, there is still something dying here.
I believe the phrase coming out swinging is appropriate for that first volley of the second round. Judges, hold them up when you got them.
That's my question.
Woo. All right, we have an 8.9. We have a 9.7.
All right.
We have a 10, a 10, and a 10. This should be the easiest math of the night. After taking out the highest and the lowest, what do we got?
29.7.
Woo! Hold, not the score. Let's bring back up again for round two, Angelica Maria.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. CRB stands for chronic resting bitch face. The newest heap of bullshit disguised in a joke to tell women yet again how we're supposed to look. I've been carrying a pocket knife since age 11. Where I'm from, your guard is like your GPA. If you're smart, you keep that shit up. This look on my face, these curved lips, inverted eyebrows, mouth that is statue still as I walk is an expression perfected over time. My bitch face is a skill. A technique practiced for 20 years. My bitch face is thousands of streets walked alone. My bitch face is try me and I'll put a key to your throat. My bitch face has no friends with it. Must defend itself always. My bitch face is not sorry. My bitch face is in a room full of men making rape jokes and is the only one not laughing. My bitch face is tired from walking 40 extra minutes home because the streets are lit that way. My bitch face does not want to Netflix and chill. My bitch face smiles and still gets called bitch. Man in front of the barber shop tells me to look happy. Man in front of the barber shop wants me pretty. No, I want to tell him pretty is too easy to hurt. Pretty is too light to take without anyone noticing. Pretty puts a target on my chest. Pretty got me followed home at 12 years old. Pretty got my neighborhood friend raped out in front of her house. Pretty turns me into a ghost. Makes me victim, makes it my fault. My bitch face has much more to worry about than looking pretty. And here you are telling me if I do not 24/7 contribute to your viewing pleasure, I have a disorder. It blows my mind. How are you going to say bitch face is an epidemic and not acknowledge rape? Wonder why women do not always smile. Why do they always just pick up your compliments like free cheesecake? For some of us, compliments have always been the hammer cocked back before the trigger. So do not be surprised if I flinch when you call me beautiful. So no, this is not just my resting face. This is endurance. This is being woman. This is sometimes the only weapon we have. This is surviving war every day and being ready for it again. Woo!
Each on, bitches. Okay, let's judges. Show them if you got them.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
8.2. 10. Fight. Okay, let's all right, applaud the poem, not the score. And speaking of scores, what's the score for 30 people? That's our first Stone Soup Poetry for the Stone Soup Slam, our first score of 30. More surprises on the way, I am sure. Next up is Big Papa Ben.
I'm curious. Who here likes to write? Raise your hands.
I don't.
Okay. Noted. Who here is a writer?
Oh.
What do you do differently? Is it how you hold the pen? Is it you have to have an iBook and glasses just so? Or the ability to use the word pedestrian and mainstream every other sentence? Because I'll ask people sometimes. I'll ask them to a slam or to a poetry workshop, and sometimes I'll get the yeses and they'll actually come. And sometimes I get Facebook yeses, which mean absolutely not. And sometimes I get those who scrunch up their face and go, oh, I don't write. And I'll be like, well, yes you do. And they'll be like, no, I'm not a writer. As if a writer is a mythical creature appearing only when somebody commits connotative error in the passive voice. Stand back, I have an MFA. As if a writer is a designation like a PhD. Oh no, I'm not a doctor. As if you have to apply to the great writing gods in the sky. What were your GRE scores? You mean you never wrote a sonnet? Get out of my sight. Come on. You don't write. You do write. Everyone writes. Anyone who's bent a blade of grass just so just writes. Anyone who's put their life out there into the universe, into the ether, into that sweet, sweet Boston air, well, everyone writes. We've always been writing. Ever since the first primordial man picked up a piece of his own turd and started scrawling on the wall, we've been writing. There's never a moment we are not writing. Our blood drips like ink into the world's pools, and each droplet creates rings. The rainstorm of our creativity is mistaken for aging. You can see yourself in every PowerPoint and every obnoxious slide transition that you choose. The fact is, you can't stop writing. Your fingers doodle in your sleep, and you etch the pillow with puddles of drool so poetic you don't downcast the words of Shakespeare. It's hard news to break, but the fact is, you are art. From the random mishmash tangle of your veins to the ugly, fatty, pockmarked skin, you are a work of art crafted in timeless style. You are art that makes art that makes art. You are an infinite mirror of possibility, and good Lord, if I hear from one more person about how they don't write, how they can't write, I swear to God I'm gonna slap them. Watch the pain etch itself across their face. Watch them scribble down that police report. It doesn't have to be on paper to be writing. Sometimes there are poems and a look, stories and a wrinkle, and histories and a scar. You are tracing the line of your existence across the stars. You are the author of an epic. You are the prolific liver of your life, and there will never be a sequel. There will never be a rewrite, because the closest mankind has ever come to the perfect piece of literature is writing their last breaths into the air. So wear the title. You're a writer. You write. Your life is your masterpiece, and we just want to read it.
30 or no 30 on the scoreboard. Everyone's going down swinging. I love it. I love it. Thanks to everyone. And scores, judges, show them if you got them. I'm looking, 2050 vision here will work with me. 8.8, 9.8, 9.6, 10, and a 10. And after taking out one of those 10s and the lowest score, what are we left with?
29.4.
29.4. It's getting close. Let's bring up Tim Hall.
Yeah, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay, Tim?
Go in.
Hi.
Tim.
I know him too. How you doing? Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Tim.
Go ahead, Tim.
Tim, let's go.
Tell him one time, Tim.
Hold on the mic.
My dick good dick. It loves itself. Calls itself pretty sometimes, strong dick, smooth and thick. I'm proud of my dick. It has learned from its mistakes, has taken time to put itself in check. My dick knows it's not perfect. Knows it can take up a lot more space than intended, can put people in uncomfortable positions, has to be aware of the way it sways. Yes, my dick has a conscience. Has a mind of its own, but that's only because my dick is a realist. Recognizes that the other dicks in the room also may have their own story to tell, but may not feel as safe to share as it does, so it's volunteered itself to go first. My dick has been put in a box, told to configure itself in the image of the status quo, to be like other dicks. It's been told to man up. It's been told to think like one, to be one, to fuck just like one, to take control, to not get out of control, to not cry, to be strong enough to make others cry, to not show emotion, all in the name of masculinity. My dick has been damaged, played with and taken advantage of. At 16, a girl down the block whispered softly in my ear, "You know you want to rape me." Her words ricocheted along the inner canal of my ear, vibrating against my eardrum. Her slick tone, confident as if it were an adolescent sexual position waiting to be tried, like something found reading through a teen magazine. At 18, my girlfriend of 3 months told me I should have pushed her against a wall just to force out of her why she was mad at me for a disagreement we had, that I should have handled her like a man. At 22, I lost my virginity to a close friend. And later that night, again to someone completely different. The next day, my fraternity brothers praised me for a job well done. And at 28, I wonder why my partner is the only committed relationship I feel safe enough to share that part of myself with. My dick is tired. Exhausted from the attached strings society calls expectations. Too often men believe manhood lies between their legs, that sex is the only way to find it, that identity doesn't lie on a spectrum, but I'm not sorry my dick doesn't fit in the mold. My dick is no longer the silicone dildo for society to fuck itself with. My dick is mine. So stop telling it what to do.
It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see the scores. After the pussy fumble of round one, we attempted a dick blitz at second down and 15 yards to go. Let's see what the scores are. We have an 8.3. Okay, Tim. We have a 9.8. Yeah. We have a 3. And we have a 10. And we have a 10. Yeah. Applaud the poem, not the score. And after taking out the lowest score and the highest score, or one of the two highest scores, what are we left with?
28.1.
28.1. Round of applause again. And keep it going. From James D. James.
Keep it going.
This morning I cleaned my girlfriend's hair out of the shower. Yesterday she flew home. We exist in these visits, play domestic couple, dream of living in the same city, of waking to I love you, talk about who won't be invited to the wedding, create lifetimes and hypotheticals. I like the one with Kaya Lily. Gifted her mother's eyes, I twist in Kaya's hair like her mother taught me, tight and under with 3 handfuls. Make believe before bedtime, pancakes on Sunday morning, blueberries and whipped cream. We have extravagant daydreams too. Imagine paying off college loans with lotto winnings, or houses we'd buy, or cities we'd visit. But in this one, I laugh and love like easy breath. 4 months in, fantasy interrupted. My girlfriend calls to tell me about a nightmare. A woman driving through Texas. Red and blue flares jumped out of her rearview mirror. After that, she lived only as dashcam footage, as hashtags and news clippings. Sandra Bland, closer than any daydream. I stayed mostly silent and listened to the woman I love not want to die, not want to be taken away like an impounded car. And if this were an academic conversation, I would have had something to offer. I could hear the need for comfort in her voice, and my mouth was a desert. My knuckles even whiter. Such helpless fists, useless watery eyes. The TV replays Black Death without warning again. I hope I don't remind her of the gunman, or the gun, or the bullet. For the first time, I am afraid in a personal way. Some man could steal my love from her body, could make a eulogy of our daydream, of Kaya Lily and her curly hair.
Woo!
It's getting down to the wire. After this, boy, I'm shrinking. Getting older. It's getting down to the wire. After this next person comes up, we're going to have the tally and who are going to be the final 3 competing for the $75 grand prize. Now, let's see those scores. We have a 7.5, a 9.0, a 9.7, a 10, After we unfortunately take out one of those 10s and take out the lowest score, what are we left with?
28.7.
28.7! Last person coming on. Give it up for Dexter Joe!
Citizen. I wake up some mornings with the urgency to jump off, across, or back away from the brink. It is an uncomfortable place crowded with people who find themselves angry or sad all of the time. I am both, a cocktail of confusion and outrage as mixed up as my color. And my experiences are not just my own. They don't belong to me, only half concern me, for I must share with all others who stand in between, with all those who stand on the blacker side of the spectrum, which is anywhere between, you almost look white, and where in Africa are you from? Because when thrown against the sharp white background, we are all the same thing. Society has deemed us unfit because we refuse to blend. My subconscious has decided to whitewash my children for fear of them facing harshness, for fear of them facing a mirror and seeing inadequacy. I thought I may do what my father did. But I have been changing. Running from lies ingrained since childhood, I have been falling for strength and art in a body with a complexion like chocolate. And his words be like whiplash, and his eyes be brown as birch wood and beautiful, and you are not the guy, and still you fit the description. You are the guy who is always the guy fitting the description. People fear monsters hidden in the shadows. You have been conditioned to fear the monster and to fear the protector, to fear yourself, for you can hide in the shadows and be mistaken for the monster. You are not the monster or the protector or the protected. Sometimes they are the same thing. Sometimes you become the guardian. The only thing that stands between us and the protector, who is also the monster. I become the guarded. And yet still, You are the guy who is always the guy fitting the description, a guardian that could at any moment be torn away from those he guards in the same fashion that bullets tear skin and separate life from body. And it seems easier because we blend easier into dirt and asphalt. Our blood does not stand out as easy against our skin, and if we do survive, we must tread lightly, for the past is a life sentence. A blunt instrument aimed at tomorrow, and when we leave it behind, we must run faster than our instrument can be thrown. In hopes that it cannot reach us, we must spend our days dulling down the edges and hoping no mistakes are made. I learned how to sigh at the age of 4. When I realized my naturally blonde hair and tan skin were at odds. When they wouldn't let me leave the airport with my own father because of our differing appearances. But a sigh is just a pathway to breath, so sigh if you must, because everyone deserves to breathe, and these days I have been struggling to breathe quietly, so I give up. I will breathe as loudly as I wish and not hide from the skin, for it is not just mine. Just like the experiences I will pen in hopes that younger souls will realize that they never have to carry injustice alone. We are all working towards the rights that already belong to us as citizens.
Woo! Okay, judges, this is one of the more important scores of the night as we're going to figure out who the final 3 are. They're going to go and each read a poem and decide who the grand prize winner is. We have a 7.8. Oh, come on. It's been happening a lot. A 9.7.
Yeah.
An 8.4. And a 10.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't hear the second score.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here. It's not going down to the line.
Can we hold up those scores one more time? Okay, 7.8,
a 10,
a 8.9, a 9.7, and a 10. And where's another score?
8.4.
8.4. Okay.
We're going to decide who the last 3 to perform tonight in the final round. Do we have it now? Okay, who are those 3?
We're going to wait for her score. And then we're going to figure it out.
And what's the score?
27 even.
27 even. Another round of applause. Thank you so much.
Okay, last round. And who's moving on? We have Rudy Rodacious, Angelica, and Big Papa.
All right, people.
Rudy, you're on.
Let's go. Let's get ready to rumble. Sorry.
I don't know if I am a feminist, but my sisters are heaven sent. They bless my bloodline and grow past society's lust limits. But my mother made me a man when my father couldn't. Taught me responsibility is unbiased of gender, but I miss my aunt. At 18, she told me, you will meet great women like those in our family. Learn how to treat them. I don't know if I am a feminist, but I keep my aunt alive by rejecting machismo. It is just male ego on steroids, but male privilege makes me sick. The higher risk for a woman, the even higher risk for a black woman, walking down the same block I go unnoticed on, but I have stepped off dance floors just to walk women to their car. I don't know if I am a feminist, but I love natural hair. So if you decide to straighten it, please do it only for yourself. But if you choose to stop wearing a bra, I won't make a big deal of it. I will still remember where your face is, but fuck high heels if you don't like them. You are just as elegant in a pair of Chuck Taylors. I don't know if I am a feminist, but I cheer when I hear poems about your period. But now I give women handshakes because you shouldn't be forced into hugging anyone. Your body is no one's welcome mat. But after being celibate
2 years longer than anticipated. I learned sex is an experience, not a mark-off on a checklist. You are not cum catcher, baby pusher. Fuck any man that silences you to a rib. Vagina is not a curse word. You are not cursed. Your sexuality, your body is yours. I don't know if I am a feminist, but I am sorry for a poem I wrote in the past. The one of every 5 story is not my business to tell. I don't know if I am a feminist, because feminist isn't my word to crown myself. I will not waste this word like a wash rag or stick my penis in your rights like a war flag. Is this what a feminist looks like? I don't know. I'm just a straight man refusing to reduce your value to one pair of lips. I don't know if I am a feminist, but you are woman. And that deserves respect.
Judges, under the wire. It is a top wire. I am walking it right now. We're nearing the end of our time, but let's get those scores. Hold them up high. Waiting on one more person. Ah, there we go. We have an 8.
What?
We have a 9.8.
Yes.
A 9.9.
Yeah.
9.8 again.
Yes.
And a 10.
Yeah.
Sadly, that 10 has to go alongside the 8, along with the 8, and after that, what were we left with?
29.5.
29.5.
Yeah.
And who is next? Oh yeah, Angelica Maria, come on down.
Hey. So I wrote this poem. I worked last year as a tutor to students learning English coming to America for the first time. And I wrote this kind of after that year. You ever notice how an immigrant child is a lot like a walking flag? They learn what it means to be American as they are beaten till they bleed red. Stay up at night praying their skin would lighten white and are suffocated till they turn blue. They could paint a star-spangled banner with what has been taken out of them. They memorize our nation's colors as they watch their flesh represent its hues, noticing the pattern of red to white to blue. They try their best to recite the national anthem in a language that does not fit in their mouth. Are forced to claim themselves American, but are always treated as immigrants. At the cafe I work at downtown, I watch every day rich white men come in and order Americanos. The migrant workers at my job joke, an Americano or an Americano. They wish they could buy their American for $2.75. Wish that it was that easy. My friend's nephew, Miguel's 4th of July happened the first week he moved here from El Salvador. It did not look like what he thought it would. It did not sound like the red ramparts he heard about on TV. Did not resemble smiling faces playing trumpets, waiting at you to come get some of this freedom. There were shots in the sky, but they were not fireworks. When the police picked up his body off the ground, the cement was bright red. When they laid him down into the ground, his small brown face was pale white. The holy water a man used to soak the rosary to put on the tombstone was crystal blue. Do you look at your flag differently now? The downside of the American dream is that for some it is a nightmare they do not get to wake up from. Our light is so shed on opportunity we forget to show what is lying in the shadows. So now whenever Miguel's family sees a flag waving, they make sure to check that there is not a body underneath it. Make sure it is not someone they know. To them, our freedom is a blanket for a casket and they cannot escape it. They see them everywhere they go, in elementary schools, on news channels, in front lines, and they all look like tombstones. Everywhere they go, it feels like a cemetery. Still trying to find their son somewhere between the stars and the stripes. Wonder why they can't stop seeing red. Wonder why this country turned their sun turn into a flag, wondering if the dream they came all the way here for is really just that. A figment. Something that does not exist. Something you feel silly forever believing in.
What? Don't fuck this up.
There'll be no threatening of the judges, please. Hold them up when you're ready, guys. Small announcement: we're not going to be able to have a second half of the open mic. We do apologize, but we want to thank the patience of the musicians and everyone else who came here. We are cribbing in on their time a little bit, but we thank their patience. And after the next person comes up, that'll be the deciding of who wins the slam for tonight. Let's get to the scores. We have a 9.3.
Yeah.
Yes. A 9.5.
Yeah.
A 9.8.
Yeah.
A 10.
Yeah.
And a 10.
Yeah.
It's such a high right now. I'm surprised that people aren't booing the 9.8s. Like, oh, come on, man! All right. And as we take out the high score and the low score, what are we left with?
After time penalty, 28.8.
Whoa! 28.8. Applaud the poem. Applaud the poem, not the score, not the bullshit time penalty. And let's go to the last person on the open mic. I think this is the first time he's been on the slam before. I think this is his first time he's made it to the final three. This is exciting. Let's welcome up to Mr. Big, Papa Ben.
I know.
Yeah, that's good. Need help?
He tells me, I need my medicine. Offers me capsule solution to all my worldly problems. Says $7 a gram is a hell of a lot cheaper than health insurance. Yes, she needs her medication to keep down the consternation at a soul-eating occupation. She gets her thrills from masturbation and a little vacation. Potential is a disability that we will medicate into submission. We have pills and pills and pills, Restoril, Celexa, Serax, Depakote, Ambien, Xanax. Why try to control these impulses at all when we can just give our good doctor a call? Doctors like billboards on their pad and on their shirt. Feeling down? Call your doctor. Feeling up? Call your doctor. Feeling nothing at all? Call your doctor. Our hands are outstretched like cups to fill. We are weak and we are ill. Save us, Lord, from our disease. Save us, doctor. Please, oh please. Bing! For the daily malaise of daily life. Hate your pill, hate your job, your wife, your kids, your life. We have a pill for that. Self-satisfaction and easy to swallow tablets. Just follow the directions in the bottle and everything will be okay. I do believe it's working, Doc. These social lubricants stop the grinding of the gears, and though the slings still sling and the arrows still fly, I am well. And though the wounds are just as deep, I am well. And though my blood is blood is red, I am well. Well, of course, being defined as one's ability to translate the foaming frenetic frenzy of inner ferment into the subtle, sober, and socially successful, well, whatever, man. It doesn't matter. We've got our love it all and our peace it all, and reality is just kind of whack, you know? Why try and change the world when you can just arrange the pixels and bask in the glow of a life perfected, the glossy pearl over irritant sand we fly on pill bottle wings, and what people say is only the wind, and our hungry soul is only the clouds, and we soar above it all, free of it all. This girl tells me that without it she folds, that her self-confidence comes to her twice daily with meals, a red pill to get out of bed, a blue pill to get back into it, and a bowl packed tight just to keep it all together. Her doctor has a pad, her dealer has a stash, they treat her. She's never healed. We all seek to cure ourselves of the world dose by dose. We will bomb ourselves back to Eden. We will leave the apple on the tree. It means we can sleep peacefully.
Woo! Nothing. Let's get those scores going. I want to thank everyone for coming here. If this is your first time coming here to Stone Soup, we have it every week. We don't have the slam every week, but we have features, poetry, other festivals. It could be like this every week. All we need is you. Let's get to the scores. Hold them up high. We have a 5. We have an 8.5. We have an 8.4. We have an 8.9 and an 8.9. Not the poem, not the score. This is a show where anything can happen. We're going to get the final score and then figure out who is first, second, and third place.
The final score is 25.8.
25.8. Round of applause.
So let's give everybody another round. Thank you all. And the winner tonight for the final Stone Soup Slam of the year will be Rudy
I gotta say something, because I believe in keeping it 100 all the time. I won, but I did not win. I won, but I didn't win. Let's keep it a buck. And I can't give all of this away because I do need some money. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be as generous as I want, but please accept $25 from me, please. Let me also say, listen, like, at the end of the day, this shit is like, it's more of like an endurance game and strategy at the end of the day. This shit's not even supposed to be about the damn scores. The scores only exist, the competition only exists to get people to come out. That's it. At the end of the day, this is all about poetry and the love of poetry. At the end of the day, the best part about it is hearing new people. So fuck this damn competition, fuck all of that. All of y'all are fucking winners. Fuck out of here. That's
Come on back up. One more round of applause. Come on up. Melanie, come on.
You're a little shy.
Don't be shy.
You're a little shy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making it. Thank you so much for making the Stone Soup Slam such a success as we started in the summer. We're going to get one more shot. Let's get a shot of the group and we'll applaud afterwards for some reason.
Crystal, remember, we got to exit. Picture. Okay, picture time.
Take the shot.
Champions.
Let's say I hate you all. All right, one round of applause. This is Stone Soup Poetry. We are not done yet. As a whole, tonight we're done. But
we'll see you guys next year for the slam.
Come back next week for a feature. Come back next week.
Come back every Monday.
Every Monday.
Come every Monday.
It's like this every week as long as you're here.
Oh no! Hey, I have a feature on Wednesday.
If you can help fold the chairs, if you can help take any food that's left over, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for your energy, your commitment. I think that's it. I have nothing else clever to say. I'll probably get something else again.